Hello and welcome to the Tarka Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're playing the game RivenWorld. In today's video, I'm going to try to do a tutorial type of video to help newer players succeed in this game early on. So right now I'm in the game world. I'm totally naked. If I hit the tab button, that will bring up my inventory. I've got absolutely nothing. So in this game, you're going to randomly spawn into the world, and it's a survival game. So with most survival games, you're supposed to kind of try to figure it out on your own. But there are some survival games that give you a slight tutorial in the beginning. This game doesn't have that right now, and that's the reason for this video, to give you just a kind of legs up on how to get going. But after that, you can really figure things out. This game's really easy to figure things out. It's not complicated. Once you get the bare bones understanding of what's going on, I think you're going to have a fabulous time in this game. So here I am. I've got to get some. I'm naked. I got to get some things going. If I hit the tab button and go to craft, these are the only things that I can craft off the bat. So the thing I'm going to need is an axe, because I'm going to need to chop trees down. So I'm going to need sticks and I'm going to need stones. So the terrain is designed so that you can forage. So if I just look down here and hit the E, I'm going to forage whatever's on the ground. I got some apple seeds and some buttercup flowers. So this is not the best place to forage for what I'm looking for. So let me go to this stone pathway and forage here and see if I pick up anything off this pathway. So I didn't get anything from foraging there. The system is designed that, there we go, I got some stone there. System is designed that once you forage the area, it's got to recharge its its zone. So you just can't spam forage one spot, because you'll stop getting items. I'm spam foraging right now just by spamming the E button, and I'm not getting anything because I've overforaged it. So the system will eventually regenerate those items, or randomly generate items here for people to forage later on. But that allows it forces you to move. You have to move to forge the next section. You just can't. So I'm gonna forage a little bit. This fiber here that you see here on the ground, this harvest fiber, you want to pick that up. Fiber is good for this game. All right, so I got that. So I need some sticks, right? Because it said I needed some sticks. So I just walk over to the trees and I forage the trees. And right there I got some leaves and I got one stick. Same with the trees. You only can forage them once, and you need to move on. There we go. We're going to forage. See there, I got my apples. Now the food in this game is from the trees. You want to forage trees to get food currently. Right now, the game is in its early stages, and their food sources are really these trees, getting fruit off the trees. Now, the game is quite generous with how slow the food meter goes down. So it's not like you're going to need to spend a lot of time collecting food in this game. It really is slow. I mean, it's just like real life. You can survive. After a couple days, you're going to be really hungry. So it's not like they're forcing you to eat every 2 seconds. The water does go down. As you can see over there at the bottom right-hand corner of my screen, I've got my water, my food, my energy, and then my actual health. Now, you use energy in this game when you sprint. You'll see it go down. And you use energy in this game when you do certain tasks in this game. Currently, right now, foraging does not require energy. So you can just forage there. So I think I might have everything I need to make that axe. No, I'm still lacking some sticks. I've only got 2 of 5 sticks. Now, you can find sticks on the ground by foraging the ground, but the success rate from the trees is just easier. Now, later on, when I show you the workbenches that we can make in this game, will be, okay, so I got 3 sticks there. So that was enough to do what I need to do. We'll be able to make our own sticks on the crafting bench. So let's just go to here and hit craft, and it's going to craft it. Now, you want to close the crafting window and go into your inventory, and it will show up here. This hotbar here is your working hotbar. It allows you to utilize items. So these items automatically fills the hotbar if you've got an empty hotbar space. whatever item you gain will fill it. So what I tend to do is put all my tools and my weapons down here, and then the things will just auto-populate my inventory. So now I will hit the 1 button, and I've got the axe in my hand. And I can swing the axe to attack somebody by, this is a fast attack, by holding the left mouse button down. Or I can do a full attack by holding the button and pulling back on the mouse. And that does more damage to people if I want to hurt them. So let's go up to the tree. And with the tree, you just do a mouse click, a left mouse click. You'll see my energy being consumed. See, my energy was being consumed. And this axe only gives me 1 log in return for my efforts. As you get further into this game, you'll be able to secure better tools, and those tools will return more volume of. So I believe the iron axe gives you 2 wood, and the steel axe gives you 3 wood, and the durability on the axes lasts longer. So you'll notice as I use, if you look at the hot bar at the bottom, as I use this axe, its durability is going down. So now I just ran out of energy. So yeah, the durability of that axe is just going down, so you'll have to continue making axes. So that means you've got to get sticks and you've got to get stones to complete, to make another axe, right? So what we want to do now is go into the crafting and make our first workbench. And the first workbench, or the workbench, only takes 24 logs, and then you can craft it. So I hit craft here. We can leave this window open if we want, or we can close it, up to you. When the thing is crafted, because I've got an open slot down at the bottom in my hotbar, it should, as soon as I craft it, end up in one of those hotbar slots because they're open and available. So let me just, because we're going to need some more sticks to make our next axe, I will forge some trees. Okay, see that work table just filled in that hotbar down there because it was open and available. So if I hit 5 now, the 5 key, because that's where it's at, I can place it on the ground with a left mouse click, and there it is. So now I can use it by clicking E, and then it gives me all these things that I can make in the game. All these things are useful in the game. They will allow you to make other tier items. The key items early on are going to be the bucket so that you can drink. So we're going to need sticks, and we're going to need wooden planks for that. So that shouldn't be a problem. So why don't, because we've got some logs in our inventory still. We got 4 logs. So let's click on wooden planks. I'm going to hit max. I can make 4 bundles. I'm going to hit craft. And then I'm going to step away. And what's going to happen is it's going to craft automatically in the table. I don't need to be babysitting it. So I'm going to just go over here and cut down a few more trees while we wait for those to go. And cut some trees down, and I'm going to try to collect some sticks. So what I do early on is I always forage first. I'll forage the tree, and then I'll cut it down. And in this situation, I'm going to move on to other trees because I need a few more sticks because I want to get that bucket. I'm getting a lot of leaves. Now the leaves you can burn in the fire pits. I got some more apples, and I'll show you how to eat too in this game. I got some apples. Come on, sticks. Sticks. Winner, winner. Need some sticks. Okay, there's some sticks. All right, so let's go back to the bench where we'll see that the output hopper has the wooden planks. I drag those to my inventory. One of the things you should know about this game, and I'll just go into my inventory to show you, those wooden planks ended up in my hotbar because it was open. If you want to split a stack in this game, just hold the middle mouse button down and drag them over, and you'll split the stacks. Middle mouse button, drag them over, it splits the stacks, and then you can drag them back if you want. So that's how you split stacks in this game. Also, you can cancel your queue. Let me just go to E here, talk to the bench. Let's say I queue up, I can make the bucket now. Let's say I queue up the wooden planks, and I hit max, and it starts going. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't want to make that. Just right click once on there and it will return all the items to you. All the logs back to you. Whatever items you use to start that process will be returned to you. So you can cancel any queue at any time by a right mouse click on the item in the queue hopper. All right, so let's make the bucket. I'm gonna hit max here. I only can make one. Let's craft that. Okay, so the empty buckets in the hopper are going to move it to my inventory, and here we go. So what I'm going to do is, at my hotbar, I'm going to put my food in the 6. I'm going to put the bucket in the 5. I'm going to move these sticks out. Okay. So at the very bottom of the screen in my hotbar, you'll see that I have the bucket in 5, and I have the food in 6. So hit the 6 button, and that puts the pear in your hand. Now you can use the E button to consume it. Oh, actually, I think I foraged instead of, okay, I foraged. So you use the E button, but I find that you can use the attack button, the left mouse button. If you click that while the item is in your inventory, or you used to be able to do it. Maybe they've changed it. Let me go back to 6 here. Oh, no, it looks like they've changed it. So it must have been in the patch. So you have to actually use E to consume it now. Before, you actually could just hit the attack button and it would consume it, but now it looks like it forces you to use the E, which is the way it's supposed to work. So now I'm going to put the bucket in my hand, and the bucket is empty. So what I want to do is I got to find a water source, and because Tarkus knows this map very well, Tarkus knows, and I started this tutorial near a water source, I know there's water down here. So what you want to do is you want to grab the water from the river here, and don't fall in. Try to get to a place, and then here it says go to the water source and collect. So I should be able to hit E here once I get to the water. All right, gather water. All right, so I gathered the water. Now, right now you'll see that now the pail that's in that quick slot is blue. That means there's fresh consumable water in that bucket. And if I hit 5 and put the bucket in my hand, make sure it remains in my hand, and then hit E, I will drink the water. Now the bucket is taking durability damage every time I use it. So if I go back down here and collect water again, it doesn't take durability loss there. It takes durability loss when I go to consume the water. This is a note that you need to understand is normally the river won't give you fresh water. There's a bug in the game currently that is doing that. You will need to boil the water first before you can consume it. So that step is missed right now because of the bug. But normally, and I'm going to show you how this is going to work, I would collect the water, and instead of getting the blue bucket, I'd get a brown bucket. And the brown bucket would be, oh, you've got dirty water. And if you drink the dirty water, you'll take hit point losses because you'll get sick. So they want you to boil it. And it just happens that you don't have to because of the bug. Now, there's also wells that you can make in the game. So you'll be able to make a well, and all the water out of the well is fresh. So you don't have to boil well water. Or there's a rain catcher too that you can make, and I don't believe you need to boil that. It's only the water out of the river and the ponds and the whatnot you're supposed to have to boil. So how you do the boiling system is you got to go to crafting. We got to make a campfire. So we're going to need more sticks and more stone. And for us to get stone from these big rocks, I don't believe, whoop, I got the bucket in my hand still. I'm going to go bare knuckle. I don't believe, yeah, you can't bare knuckle stone. You have to pick the stone up off the ground until you get the pickaxe. But they did make it so that if you didn't make yourself an axe, an actual hatchet, you can hit the trees for a random 1 log. So if you don't find yourself making an axe, they did make it so that you could punch a tree and randomly get 1 log just to get you started. Now they're going to add a mechanism where you'll take hit point damage when you do that function, but that's not in the game yet. So we need to find some rocks, And the best way to find rocks in the game, you got to look at the terrain. So you look at this as a rocky terrain right here that I'm on. So this is where you should be I say rocks, but stone is what you're looking for. So go to the rocky terrain. So the terrain itself indicates to you what you're going to get for foraging. See, I'm getting the stone. You know, and so that spot I didn't get any. So you're not going to get it everywhere. And then, you know, this is a very popular road. So somebody might have come through here already and gathered on this embankment. So there we go. So now we're going to need to find some more sticks. And early on, the sticks is hard to get. And you know, it's just early on because we'll be able to make a carpentry bench. Oh, there's a bunch of sticks. We'll be able to make a carpentry bench that will allow us to produce as many sticks as possible as you can use. So the game gets easier as you get access to the benches. So I'm going to hit the tab button, going to go to crafting. Oh, I still don't have enough. I still need more sticks. Oh, I'm 9 out of 12. Okay, like I said, I mean, early on, the stick situation, they did it that way to kind of force you into understanding the mechanics of the game. Oh, a bunch of leaves. I'll be able to get that campfire going though. Let's just get some sticks here. And as you can see, it's getting dark in the game. And the game has a full night and day cycle. Oh, more leaves. Why do I need to? It's got a full day and night cycle. It's got a season cycle. So the days and the weather changes based on the seasons. I think that's enough sticks there to get that. Okay, so now I can create the fire pit. So the campfire, I hit craft, and it will start crafting. Again, I got an open slot in my hotbar down in the below, and that open slot will populate that campfire once it's been created. Or that fire pit. There it is. Oh, I had to hit tab. Sometimes you have to hit tab and go in your inventory for it to populate. Hit the 4 button because that's where it's at. Place it on the ground. Walk up to it. Hit E. And then I can just feed it those leaves in the fuel. Go down to fuel, drag the leaves, turn the fire on, and there you go. You got a fire pit. Now, I'm not going to be able to show you how to boil because the boiling mechanism requires a bucket of dirty water, which you cannot get right now because they have a bug going on where all the water, anytime you use a bucket, you're getting clean water. But you will be able to boil the water when they fix when they patch it and fix the game. You'll get dirty water from places, and then you just boil it. And then once you've boiled it, it will become the blue bucket for clean water. So that gives you your water. Getting the stuff out of the trees gives you the food. Foraging gives you your pears and your apples. So that gives you your water and food. So that's out of the way right there. This tutorial just showed you how to survive the food and water issue. So now what we want to do is we want to progress in the game for better items, better equipment, and building structures, building housing, for you and your clan. So what we want to do is go to the table and see what we need to do to make the other benches. Because to get the pickaxe, you need the masonry bench. So we just need a few more stones. So let's just do that, because once we open up the masonry bench, I'll be able to make a pickaxe. The road is always a good place to get stone. It really is. I mean, you just walk down the road and the stone is here. And there's many, many cliff faces that you'll find in this game. I mean, see, I even picked up sticks that time. So you can get sticks from okay, that's plenty of stone. You can get sticks from the road too by foraging. All right, we're going to get to the bench here. We should be able to make that masonry bench. Did I not get enough stone? How many did, okay, it used to be 25. It looks like they've increased the value of that. So we'll just get a few more stone. And if I spam forage while running, I get nothing. You've got to actually stop moving. So you've got to move forward, stop moving, and forage. I think I already cleared this out. We'll move up here. All right, do some more foraging. Come on, computer. Forage, forage, forage. All right. Yeah, the sharp rocks that you get now are not really used for anything. Somebody set up a little camp right here. Run across this bridge. And I will show you some neat buildings people have made in this game at the back end of this tutorial. We just gotta, oh, that, okay, we got plenty of stones now. We'll get into that. We'll get into that masonry bench. And I started my camp down here only because this is right outside of town. There's a town right down that road that I'm facing. And I figured this would be easy to build here to show you the bare bones of what you need to do to get this thing to work, to get everything you need in this game. So we're going to make the bench. And then after the masonry bench, we're going to need a carpentry bench. The carpentry bench is just logs. So let's just go. I guess I should have just did the carpentry bench to begin with, because I could have made the sticks that way. But this way I was able to show you how you go about getting the sticks from the road and the trees. But we'll make a carpentry bench, and then I'll show you how to make sticks with the carpentry bench. And I'm going to do this wood cutting here until my axe is no more. See, the depletion or the durability and the axe got destroyed because I used up its durability. It's gone forever. Now, the other thing in this game that you need to know is you can't repair anything. So everything needs to be, so they need 32 logs. So everything in this game, you're going to, it's going to deplete. It's going to be destroyed. There's no repair. So they did that in this game so that people are always needing to make things. The make crafters important in this game. So when you're using an item, see, I'm not getting many logs by punching trees. See, I'm barely getting any logs punching the trees. But it's doable. I mean, it's doable. I think I think I should make an axe. I'll make an axe. This table should be ready now. Yep, it's in the hopper. It's ready. So let's just put it in my inventory, and then I'll just place this down right here. Okay, so this is the masonry table, and this allows you to make the water well. It allows you to make stone brick, so that in each building block, but I can get the pickaxe now, and that's where I wanted to. That's why we're here. But I don't actually. Yeah, let's make that pickaxe right now, and so I can show you how that works. So I'm going to craft the pickaxe. I'm just going to go punch this tree a little bit while that's cooking the pickaxe. I'm going to punch the tree. Gonna punch the tree, just so I can get enough logs for the carpentry bench. And the tree is almost done here. You can see the hit points of the tree at the very top of the screen. So I can go back to this bench here, and that carpentry bench should be available to me now. And I'm going to craft that. So that's crafting. I'm going to go back to this bench and get my pickaxe and put that in my inventory by dragging it up. That automatically populated in my hotbar because, again, it had an empty slot. I'm going to hit 1 because that's the slot it's in, and then I can now get stone from these nodes. And you see at the very top of the screen the nodes being depleted. Now you'll see that I'm getting my energy back quickly, faster than I'm depleting it. It's because I got full water. So if you've got full water, that seems to happen. But once you get one sliver below full water, you'll consume energy normally, to a point where you'll be exhausted. Like, see how I'm running around and I'm not using energy? It's because I just drank and my water meter's full. Now, I don't know if that's a bug or if it's game design, that when you're water full, you just have enough energy, like the Energizer Bunny, or if it's just a a bug that they need to fix, because I'm not using any energy right now because I got full water. But that's that. I mean, that will get resolved if it is a bug or if it's not a feature. And here I can hit these nodes here. Now these nodes that I'm hitting, when they despawn, they got a timer and they'll respawn after a certain amount of time. And you'll see that my pickaxe is also taking durability loss. All right, so we're gonna go back to this bench here. I'm gonna pull out the carpentry bench that we created and put that in my inventory. And I'll need to drag it down into the hot spot here, hot bar. Again, these sharp rocks are not needed. If you want to remove something from your inventory, just grab a hold of it with hold down the little left mouse button and just drag it to the side here, and it will dump it onto the ground. And it leaves your inventory, but these little bags will appear on the ground, and in 15 minutes the server will gobble them up, and they'll be bye-bye forever. So I want to put the carpentry table down. I'll put it here. Now this table here allows you to make those sticks. So now you can just make sticks and you'll be able to make buckets. You'll be able to make whatever you want. You could also make the rain catcher here. You can make wooden planks here. These are where you make your wooden blocks to build your first tier housing. Now, wooden blocks have the same hit points as the stone blocks, but they take a different damage reduction. So even though things are all hit pointed the same, the wooden blocks, I'm just going to use this for example, might take a 40% reduction to when you damage them, where the stone blocks, you take a 60% reduction. So they got the same hit points, but they'll take less damage when you hit them because of the reduction value, because of what they're made of. Now, the iron blocks that you can make is the highest tier block that you can build your house in. And I think that's got like a 90% reduction. And so you'll be banging on that for a while before you break through it. Now, anything in the game can be broken through. So when you own property, people can raid you and attack your buildings and destroy them. There is a mechanism in play where if you're offline, someone can't raid you. So that is coded in the game. So if you build your building and go away off the server, nobody can raid you while you're not on the server. So basically PvP elements of the game are mutual this way, meaning that if someone's on, then you can PvP them or attack their assets. All right, so let's what do we want to do next real quick? Let's go to crafting. So we got the club, that's your basic weapon that you can make. The torch, let's look at the torch real quick. So you need the plant fiber. We picked that up on the road. You need the sticks. Go ahead and craft the torch. We have an open bar down there. Again, I don't believe we're going to see it auto-populate unless we hit the tab. Yeah, and then it shows up down there. So the torch just shines light during the nighttime. You can also put the torch on the ground like that. But if you put the torch on the ground like that, it only lasts for 15 minutes. So you want to pick it up before the 15 minutes, or basically the world will gobble it up. I believe the world looks at it like a drop bag, and it gobbles it up after 15 minutes. So you just want to place it down on the ground for lighting, and then you can do what you're doing, and just remember to go over it occasionally and pick it up and get it back into your inventory, and then you reset the 15-minute timer. And then you can just put it back to the ground, and that's how you get light in the game. If you just want the torch light, you can't have a tool in your hand and the torch at the same time. They're going to be working on that to see if the torch can go into the secondary hand. So let's go down the road here. I think I've covered most of the basics. Now, when you are injured in this game, you slowly regen your hit points, and if you die in this game, you'll randomly spawn in a respawn area of the server. Server's got a random respawn. Or if you own a bed, if you make a bed and bind yourself to the bed, anytime you die, you'll end up respawning at that bed, the bed. Okay, so I'm just going to go up this road right here to show you what a couple other nodes look for. look like. Now, you're going to need to put a land claim down if you want to claim your land. These are iron nodes in the game. These nodes here are iron nodes, so you can use your pickaxe on them to get iron from them. Now, the reason why I'm going up here to the top of the hill is because the gold nodes. Now, you don't need much gold in this game currently. There's not much going on with gold, except for the land claim. So I'm going to attack this here now. Hopefully I got enough pickaxe left to get to the last hit. Only on the last hit of the gold node, you'll actually get you'll get gold. All right. Hopefully I got enough pickaxe left. Come on. Oh, no, I didn't. Oh, my goodness. I didn't have enough pickaxe to do it. So, no, it didn't give me any gold. So, okay, that's problematic. So let's run back down here so I can show you how the land claim system. Actually, now that we've done the basics, I'm just going to run over to my house that I actually have on the server, which is in this direction, and I'm going to show you how the land claim system works in the game, so that you understand how that works. Because if you don't claim the land, the 15-minute timer will start depleting your assets because they're not protected. So in this game, if you want to protect anything that you build, you want to put a land claim token on the ground. See, it's getting dark in this game. This is my house here in the corner of the lake, and I always keep this fire pit running if I'm online, so people know that I'm around somewhere. So I'm always just feeding this fire pit. Now I just feed it with logs there, so it's going to last a long time. And again, anytime you want to just shut it off so it doesn't consume, you just go to and you just shut it off so it doesn't consume the resources. I have an oil lamp right here that you can turn on. It's got oil in it, and that will give me light too. And I can shut it off at any time. All right, so and this is what the well looks like. So this is, you go up to the well, and what it is when you first put the well down, it will only have one clean water, and as the well lives, it adds water to it. So the longer the well is on the ground, the more water it will gain. So right now it's capped at 128. So if I filled 128 buckets of water, it would go to 1, and I would have to wait over time for it to regenerate the water. All right, so I'm just going to go up into my second floor here, and I'm going to grab some gold, which I know is in this crate here. So we've got copper, iron, copper, gold, right there, gold. So you need the gold for the land claim. And let me just go over to the bench here and see, I can now make it, because it's only stone and gold. So I'm going to craft one land claim token. I'll wait for it to go out into the hopper here. And I'll put it right there on the hopper. All right. So now, out of the hopper into my inventory. So now it's in the quick slot at the bottom. Now, I can't claim someone else's land. See how this is red to me? This is because I've already claimed it. This is claimed land. So I haven't claimed this. So every once in a while, this corner of my building disappears because it's not under the claim. So I'll lose these blocks eventually because they're not part of my claim. And I wasn't going to claim this corner just for those few blocks. So I just replaced them when the world gobbles them up. But I can claim this land because I've not claimed it. But just to make this clean, I just want to go over here away. So let's say I wanted to claim this. See, you can see what I'm going to claim. You see the terrain here? It's, if I wanted to be on the lake, I can just claim this terrain. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just push the claim down. And now I own this. So anything that I build here will be protected by the shrine or the land claim token. Now, in the game, you got to pay taxes. So when I go up to the claim and hit E, it brings me into the tax interface. It's called the land claim shrine interface. Right now, the taxes on the server, we took them off. The king decided not to tax anybody. But if you're king, you can tax people whatever you want. And it gives you, when you first put the claim down, it gives you 100 credit. But you can feed anything to it. So these apple seeds, I can feed it to it, and it gave me 1. I can feed it these buttercups, and it gave me credit. So anything that I feed to this thing is going to give me these shop rocks, are going to give me credit towards my taxes. And there's a cap. So once I get 864, I can't feed it anymore. And it is what it is. But right now, there's no tax rate, so nobody's burning through. But if, like, for example, if this number, this 107, becomes a negative number, so like this orange goes into the negative, the claim acts as though it doesn't exist, and the game will start, the server will start gobbling up your land. So if you don't pay your taxes, you're going to lose anything that's on your plot, because the game's designed to gobble up your land. So the other thing you want to do, and I'm just going to do this just to show you how one would do it. I'm going to go to the sand here and see if I can get some sand blocks, because you can get sand blocks out of the beaches. I did actually go through this once already about an hour ago. So why don't I go over here to, I don't have a hammer yet, so we need to make a hammer. So I'm going to go over here real quick to show you what I mean by the hammer. So on this bench here, you can build this build hammer. You need one of these. If you're going to do any building at all, build a hammer, because the hammer allows you to remove assets that at any time. So once I make this hammer and move it to my inventory, I can now use it. It's down in my hotbar. I'm going to hit 3. Now I built this structure, so I hold the right mouse button down and I remove the blocks. See how I can just remove the blocks? And I get 100% of them back. So it's not like I'm losing any resources. So if you make a blunder in your design, you can just remove blocks that you've created. And the reason why I remove those is so that I can have them in my inventory to show you what you need to do once you land claim. So also do note that sand blocks and dirt blocks can be one-shotted. So they have no reduction. So you can just one-shot them. But I'm just showing you this as an example. You need to protect this shrine, because if a PvPer comes in and destroys this shrine, they now can have access to your entire land. So what you do is you strategically put your shrine in a place that you can bury it. Ideally, this would be stone. We'd be using like a stone, and you cap it. Okay. Now the other thing you need to know is which is nice. Whoop, I wanted to go to my hammer, which is 3. I'm going to pull these blocks out. What is nice is, let's say I'm going to pull the land claim. I can pull the land claim up at any time. And let's say I made a 3-story building. I can then, if I made so basically I start off on the ground, and I've buried my land claim on the ground like I just showed you, and then I make a 3-story building. You can then pick the land claim up at any time and then move it to the top of the 3-story building. So you could actually protect it 3 stories high. So you can move it into different locations to protect it. But do note that when you pull the land claim out, when you pull it off at this particular time, this land is available. So if you got a guy like a sniper waiting for you to pull it and he throws his land claim down, you've just lost the land. So just when you pull the land claim up, just make sure there's no one around, move it to where you want to secure it, and then secure it. Now you can own as much land as you want. So for example, you can own 3 or 4 squares if you want, like I have done over here. See, whoop, the fence stopped me. So here is red. See, it's red. That means I've claimed it. Over here is red. That means I've claimed it. So that's 2 tokens I've got to secure. that people that I don't want people to destroy. So one of those tokens is in the house, and the other token is buried in this lake. What I did is I went to the bottom of the lake and put my token down there, and then I covered it. And fighting in the water is hard to do, so if somebody wanted to destroy it, they would have to really work on it. So in most cases, what you would do, if you wanted to own what I'm standing on, you wanted to own that one, you wanted to own this one, and you wanted to own this one, you'd have 4 of them. You'd put one there, you'd put a shrine there, you'd put a shrine there, and you'd put a shrine here, and then you would build a structure around those 4 shrines, and that would protect all 4 properties that you own. Now do note that the more properties you own, the more taxes you're going to pay. So this might be, say I only own, it says I own 1 chunk where I'm standing, but the reality is I own more than that. But because I'm in a guild, the guild basically owns everything that I put down. So if you join a guild in this game, it's guild assets sharing, meaning that whatever you own, the guild owns. So if you don't want that to happen, don't join a guild, and then you just independently own your own stuff. Right now, there's not a friendship permissions yet, but they're working on that. So you'll eventually be able to share your property with people that you want, and not necessarily an entire guild. I don't mind sharing my stuff. I'm on this. I'm testing for them. I'm trying to help them out with testing. So it just works out well for me that I'm working with 3 or 4 other individuals on the server to help test bugs when they drop patches. And to be in the guild makes it easier because we're sharing the resources. So if I need to test something, they might have resources that I might not have, and I can just use their resources. Now, these are the items. This is the furnace in the game and the forge in the game. And when you access or eventually build these, you'll be able to build better tools. I talked about the tools in the game. You'll be able to build the anvil, which will allow you to make armor sets. And then the forge is obviously used to melt down your iron, your copper, and whatnot. So this is like really future stuff, but you'll get into it. Once you get the minimum workbenches going, then you have access to make anything you want. You know, the spinning wheel, so you'll be able to make clothing if you want. As for, like I said, the building part of the game is you need to choose what you want to build your structure out of. Like this structure here, I made it out of wood. That's what I did. Is I made the whole thing out of wood. What's nice is the carpentry bench has 2 types of wood looks. One of them is this tree bark that you can see right there, and then the other one is the plain tan. And if you go to the carpentry bench, and mine's here in the corner, you'll see the wooden block is normal tan, and then you've got the log block that you can make. Do note that you can use the blocks as fuel in your fire and in your furnace. So if you make wooden blocks and stick them in your apparatuses, they'll last longer than just logs. So if you cut trees down and fuel these things with logs, they burn quick. But if you convert those logs into the wooden cubes or the wooden blocks, if you convert them into wooden blocks first, and then stuff those wooden blocks into your apparatus, I think you get 4 times the time on them. So that's just a little pointer there that, you know. And then oil obviously burns. Oil burns the longest. So if you can find an oil node. Now, I kind of just threw these blocks down here to show you how to protect the shrine, but I probably should explain to you real quick, and I'm going to button up this tutorial, and I'm going to put those blocks back in my hand. Now, if you try to build directly onto the ground, it's wonky. It's wonky. I got to get those back here. So if I try to build, sometimes it can be wonky. So and if it ends up being wonky, what you do is just go up one. Let me get rid of, whoop, I keep on hitting the wrong button. We get rid of this. Sometimes when you go direct, because of the way the ground's textured sometimes. They don't line up. So what you'll do is just put one block down, just that one block, then build on top of that block, and then use that block as your anchor block to build your structure. Because sometimes, like I said, if you end up building directly on the ground, and then you can tuck blocks underneath the gap to do that. But if you try to directly do it on a slope foundation, the blocks don't always want to line up correctly. There's some wonkiness with it. So what I tell people is just put one block down, build one high, and then use that as your anchor block for your snapping effect for the building aspect. Now you can build corner pieces, ramp pieces, stair pieces, fencing, other fencing, windows. You can make glass. I got a glass up there at the corner. You can make glass windows. Yeah, you can do a lot in this game. Now, granted, right now it's a sandbox building game with PvP aspects. So they're going to be adding a lot more to the game in future releases. They're going to be adding creatures, deer, and other living creatures that you can hunt and kill. In the future, they're going to add monsters to attack. But right now, it's a PvP survival game where you can build what you need to survive. Right now, the game is lacking some players, so I'm hoping this tutorial helps people understand the game, and people will stick with the game through the beginning stages. I know some of the feedback was that it was just too hard to understand what to do right off the bat, and people got discouraged, and then they were like, yeah, I want a refund. So once you understand how to get your legs underneath you in this game, I think you'll find that the game is very promising. It is a lot to build. There's a lot to do. The interaction with people is great. There's PvP elements to the game. And, the game is not 100% complete. They've got a lot of things that they've got on their roadmap. You can look up their roadmap. They got a lot of things they're going to be adding to the game, like fishing and other things. Well, I hope you found this video helpful to you, and I hope to see you in RivenWorld. And I want to thank you for joining me. This has been the Tarkus Zone.